Hi, everyone. Hello. Hi, good evening. Go ahead and continue getting dinner if you're in the dinner line. We're going to go ahead and get started with some remarks just to keep us on pace tonight. So, can everyone hear me okay? Great, thank you. So, most of you have been with us since really the very beginning. You know our stories, you know our girls, you know why we're here. So tonight we're not going to start from scratch, but we're going to tell you what your belief has built and where we're going from here. First of all, thank you to Westfields for hosting us on this amazing day. Let's give them a round of applause. And thank you to our incredible band who is taking a much deserved break at dinner, but we're looking forward to hearing more from them later tonight. And thank you to our families, friends, volunteers who truly make this event possible in so many ways. And a special thank you to my mom, Jean, and Chris's mom, Lorraine. They are helping behind the scenes in so many ways. So thank you both. And of course, we want to thank our partners, Arco Design Build, they're here somewhere, as well as Berkby House, our premier sponsors, Deloitte, Little Smiles Pediatric Dentistry, Watch Hill Financial, Living Without Tears, and Guidehouse. I think all of them have representatives here tonight, so if you haven't already, please take a moment to connect with them. The rest of our sponsors as well, I don't have a clicker, they're up on the screen. Thank you. Please take a moment again to say thank you. Let's give them a round of applause. So tonight I want to start by acknowledging that this foundation was founded by two families, but it was truly built by this community, by people who showed up before there were even results to show for it. And there are a few more people I do want to acknowledge tonight. Liz Majeski is the first. She couldn't be with us here tonight. She is the mom of Mighty Max. Many of you know Mighty Max. He is a kiddo with the 499 mutation in Michigan. She has truly thrown herself into this mission. She's raised over $100,000 herself in the last year alone. And yeah. And now she's leading it with us. We're proud to welcome her to our board this year. I also want to honor Jay Coonan and Scott Chilson somewhere here tonight. They are our founding board members who are rolling off after years of service, but they believed in this when this was only an idea, and we are, there's Jay. Thank you for your early support and guidance. I also want to recognize the Washburn family. Frank is here tonight. He and his wife have been stewards of this mission on behalf of their daughter Nina, also with the 499 mutation. And they also have thrown themselves into this mission. A family member of theirs recently named the foundation as a beneficiary of their estate. And that is really just an incredible act of faith and generosity, and we don't take it lightly. So thank you, Frank, thank you for being here. And to the Malik family, you all are here again for the fourth year in a row. You're guiding us, you're showing up, you're serving as mentors on this journey. So thank you for being here and for your continued support. And to everyone in this room, you're not watching this mission happen. You are absolutely the reason it's happening. So before we go any further tonight, I just want to take just 1 minute to ground us all in why we're here.
My name is Sophia. Thank you for supporting HSP research.
And my name is Enrique. Thank you for everything.
Hi, my name is Usher. Thank you for your support. Thank you.
Say thank you. Thank you. I love you.
So, these are the kiddos we're fighting for, and I want to be clear that every single one of them is absolutely enough just as they are, and we aren't here because something is wrong with them. We're here because something is being done to them, but by a disease that wants to take away their ability to play with friends, their ability to run, their ability to live a life without limitations. And we love our children exactly as they are, and it's because we love them that we refuse to accept what this disease wants for them. So last year, Chris told you we raised $600,000. And tonight, oops, Chris, your slides. Okay, go back one. Tonight we are so excited to announce we've now raised over $1 million. And that's because of you all. And it's not a milestone because of the number, but rather it's a milestone because of what it's created. It's made a mouse carrying Lily and Blair's exact genetic mutation. It's grown brain tissue from our children's own cells that are now being tested at Drexel University to screen drugs. Biomarker research at Boston Children's that's building the tools that FDA is going to require before any therapeutic makes it to a child. Your support built that. And this year, the science is moving faster than we could have ever imagined. This past spring, we had our 4th annual scientific symposium on SPG4, and we welcomed 100 families and 30 researchers from across 6 continents. Some joined us at 2 in the morning because they know we matter, they know this matters, and it's really being proven now with results. This year, our team published 3 papers in 3 scientific journals. These are results that didn't exist 12 months ago. There was a gene therapy that stopped disease progression in animal models. There's existing drugs already in development that restored function in preclinical studies. And we completed the largest natural history study to date in SPG4 that gave researchers the clearest idea of which children are most likely to be severely impacted and gives us a guidepost for how we get treatment to them first. So 3 papers in 1 year. And that changes the conversation because we're no longer asking if SPG4 is treatable. We now know it is. So now the question becomes, how fast can we get this to children? And that path forward is becoming a lot clearer. Our team at UMass is developing a way to deliver gene therapy through a simple IV. No brain surgery necessary. It reaches dramatically more of the nervous system than previous iterations. And that matters because treatments only work if they can get to where they need to go, right? At the same time, other teams are testing existing drugs that could potentially move to patients faster and using AI-powered drug screening and developing molecular approaches designed to stop damage before it progresses. So we're no longer standing at the starting line hoping someone pays attention to this, right? There are real scientists, real institutions, there's real momentum and multiple therapeutic paths forward because of this community, because of you all. So the next milestone is a formal submission to the FDA. That's the first official step toward a human clinical trial. There's now a roadmap to get there. But treatments don't reach our children on momentum alone, right? It's going to take millions more to get there. But the good news is that a few years ago, we were funding possibility, and now we're funding how fast we can get there. Chris?
Well, I know Katie took a moment to thank everybody who's helped make this day so special and organize this, but as I do every year, I want to take a moment to thank Katie for driving this forward. She's really the person who takes the most ownership and ensures that we have a great time today. So let's just give her a huge round of applause. You know, as Katie mentioned, we've now raised $1 million. And that means that we have a responsibility. We have a responsibility not just to Lily and Blair, but we have a responsibility to all the children impacted by this disease. And we have a responsibility to you, our supporters and donors. And that responsibility is to make sure that we put every dollar you give us to the best possible use. And so what we've done is we've created a grant process just within the last 2 months that we've rolled out. Now, we've always prided ourselves on being able to fund institutions quickly, but we wanted to balance that with a strategic investment, because sometimes the institutions need to hire people to actually support the work over a longer term, or they need to hire and invest in particular lab equipment. And so what we've done is we've broken our grant process into 2 separate tracks. The first track is the rapid response grants. These are designed for urgent, time-sensitive needs that we're going to be offering up to $25,000. We estimate to do about 4 per year, and we're going to do that on a rolling basis. Now, in addition to that, we're going to be offering strategic research grants. So these are designed to invest in those longer-term opportunities where we can actually support development toward a clinical trial. And these are going to be in amounts up to $75,000 per year, and we expect to offer about 1 to 2 per year. Now, it's not only important that we have this application process, but it's also important we have the right people reviewing them. So what we've done is we've created a grant review committee. That committee is led by Dr. Matthew Elrick at the Kennedy Krieger Institute, who is Lily and Blair's neurologist. He's helped us bring together this group, which includes one of our medical advisors, Dr. Ariane Soldados from the NIH, Dr. Andrew Lieberman from the University of Michigan, and Dr. Veronica Bolduc from NIH. Since opening this up 2 months ago, we've received 10 applications from around the world, including from the US, Canada, Italy, and Finland. Some of these institutions we've never connected with. They only found us through the actual grant application, and now we're connected with new researchers and new doctors to explore different treatments. And these applications cover everything from gene therapy to gene editing to ASOs, which is another type of treatment, and to understanding the mechanism of the disease, including tracking biomarkers to see how does this disease progress over time. Now I want to shift a little bit and talk a little bit about your impact. So a couple months ago, I was standing in my kitchen. It was about 2:15 on a weekday. It was the middle of winter, very cold day, and this is the time my 2 daughters, Quinn and Blair, get home from school. And they came in the door. Quinn was incredibly excited, and Blair was following closely behind in her wheelchair. And I said, "Quinn, why are you so excited?" And she said, "Well, my teacher told us if we do these 4 things tonight, it's going to snow, and we're going to have a snow day tomorrow." And I said, "Okay, well, what are these 4 things?" She said, "First, we're going to have to flush ice down the toilet." I said, "Okay." Then she said, "Next, we're going to have to put a white crayon in the freezer." I said, "All right." She said, "Third, we're going to have to put a spoon under our pillow." I said, "Okay." "What's the 4th thing?" She said, "We're going to have to wear our pajamas inside out." Well, I don't know who came up with these superstitions. I wish they had asked me about it, because I would have said, "Well, why don't you tell the kids to eat their dinner, brush their teeth, and go to bed?" But no one asked me. So anyway, after Quinn says this, Quinn's in kindergarten and Blair's in 2nd grade. Blair is incredibly excited. She's got this huge smile on her face. She's waving her arms very animatedly. She's clearly excited about this. And if you know about Blair's progression, she's really effectively lost her ability to talk. And so we really look for these moments to understand when she's happy. And she's clearly excited about this snow day. I think a common misconception that people have about Blair is that she doesn't understand. And she understands perfectly well, just as well as you and I, and she knows there's an opportunity for a snow day. So now, I'm not equally excited. If you're a parent, you know the most terrifying phone call is that automated message from the public school telling you that school is closed the next day. And I always know when we get that phone call because I hear a scream from somewhere in our house. And that scream is my wife, Stephanie. And I hear in that scream anxiety and fear and panic because now we're gonna have to find some childcare or worse, try to watch the kids while we're working, which is always a recipe for disaster. But anyway, part of my job is to indulge my children, right? So later that night, we're in the bathroom watching ice flush down. Quinn and Blair have their pajamas on backwards. And I go in and I tuck Quinn in goodnight and kiss her goodnight. And then it's my turn to go tuck in Blair. And this is always the hardest part of the day for Stephanie and I because since Blair can't talk, we really reserve 15 minutes to just be with her and try to understand about her day. And so we'll go into her room and sit next to her, and we'll sit there as she tries to tell us about her day, but it's really hard for her to express 1 or 2, at most 3 words. And so it turns into a game of kind of 20 questions of figuring out what she wants to talk to us about. And inevitably, time really runs up and we say, let's talk about it tomorrow. But we never really do. And those moments are kind of lost forever. But on this particular night, she's not interested in saying anything. She just has a big smile on her face, excited about the snow. So I kiss her goodnight, I walk out of the room. I go back to my room and I sit in my chair and I'm kind of reflecting on the day. And now Quinn's a couple years younger than Blair, and they've started going to the same elementary school, and I thought to myself, well, how many times have the teachers told Blair about these superstitions and we didn't know until Quinn actually was able to come home and tell us? And then I thought, well, how many times has Blair had something happy to happen to her, or something she's been proud of, or excited about, and she hasn't been able to share it with us? And then I thought, well, how many times has she been sad, or scared, or someone said something that hurt her, and she had no way to communicate that, and so we couldn't help her, and she has to deal with that all by herself. And then I realized something at that moment. Blair wasn't just happy because it was going to be a snow day. She was happy because she had finally been heard. She had finally been understood. And that's what you are doing here today, whether you know it or not. By donating, by showing up to our events, by telling our story, you are giving Lily and Blair a voice. You are allowing all these children to be heard. Because of you, we have a seat at the table where researchers are now coming to us, asking us to help fund and advance the research. So don't underestimate the impact that you have of being here and contributing. And you know, back to that night, the next thing that happened, the phone rang. It was the automated message from school, letting me know it was a snow day. But for the first time, I wasn't upset. I was just happy that Blair finally got the snow day she had never been able to ask me for. So I appreciate you being here. It means the world to us. Thank you for your support. And thanks again for coming today.
Thank you, Chris. So tonight, y'all, we're just asking you to stay in this with us, right? And when you give to this foundation, it's not going to overhead, it's not going to marketing, it's not going to admin. 100% of your donations go directly into the research pipeline, into the labs, into the models, towards some of the researchers who show up every day and do this work for our kids, some of whom they've never met. And tonight, thanks to a generous commitment from Lily's grandparents, Mark and Debbie, every donation is being matched up to $20,000. And you know, if you've been with us since the beginning, you've already changed what's possible for these kids. And tonight, there's an opportunity to do it again, and we have 2 more chances coming up this year. We have our 5K Run, Roll, and Stroll on Sunday, September 13th. I got that date right? Yes. At Clemmy Gentry Park in McLean, or virtually. It's become a really family-friendly favorite. Say that 3 times fast. And our winter benefit on Friday, November 13th at Birkby House in Leesburg. And I promise the winter benefit is going to be something really special, so I strongly encourage you to mark your calendars now for that. And I guess in closing, we've been asking people to believe, right, that this is possible. And now we're proving it. But there's one thing that science can never create more of, and that's time. Science has its own timeline, and childhood has its own. And Lily doesn't stop being 7 while another experiment is completed, and Blair doesn't pause at 8 while we wait for funding to catch up. So tonight I want you to imagine this. Go to the next slide. So there's a little girl, maybe it's Lily, maybe it's Blair, maybe it's a kiddo who was just diagnosed and her parents don't yet know that we exist, but they go into a clinic, a therapy is administered, and the disease stops. Not just slows, stops. And she goes home, and she grows up, and she does everything that she was supposed to do. She hears about the snow superstitions. She tells her little sister. And her parents know. They know everything about her day. A few years ago, this was a conversation between 2 families, and tonight it's a published result. It's a delivery system being tested right now. It's a mouse model. It's a path to the FDA's door. We've been preparing for the race, and because of you all, now we're running it, and maybe one day they'll be able to run too. And the science is moving right now that could still reach them in time. That window is open. But what happens next depends on what we do now, starting tonight. So thank you all for your continued support, for being here, for your generosity and your love. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of your evening. And the silent auction is going to close at 8:30, and there's some incredible items over there that are getting really competitive, so I suggest you go take a visit.